Jackson Associates.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a Joplin police officer is confirmed to be involved in a shooting of a 55-year-old male.
Plus, we'll get to know a local woman who spends her holiday season helping Mrs. Claus.
And we've got a cloudy, dreary, drizzly, and even flurry day out there for our Christmas. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Merry Christmas and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. Just after 7 a.m. Gosh darn it, there it is, 7 o'clock and 40 seconds every
time, Chris. Every time.
We hit it exactly when I say it's just after 7 a.m. I'm going to end up losing the Christmas
miracle
hat, by the way.
Yeah, you look good with it.
It's too hot.
Keep it on, Chris.
I'll keep it for now.
I think it looks nice.
What's your Christmas miracle?
You.
Me
every morning dealing with you.
Yeah, I think
that's surviving.
Yeah. How she hasn't killed me yet is a miracle. How my wife hasn't killed me yet is a miracle. I mean, you guys at home only get half the picture. It's an interesting time. We got a great show for you this morning on this Christmas morning. I know many of you, your children probably woke you up, I don't know, about 3-4 hours ago and have the presents open, and now you're finally enjoying some coffee, maybe looking at the TV going, oh yeah, the news is on this morning, isn't it?
Yes.
And we're here to bring you some good news around the world because Santa
came to town. He always
certainly
delivers.
did.
I love the big man, and we all know that Santa has his helpers all across the world. But did you know that Mrs. Claus has some helpers too? And one of them is right here in the 4 states. In this Christmas edition of Talk of the Town, we are introducing you to Kelly Redden.
She's an active member in the Joplin community and at the Joplin History and Mineral Museum. But what makes Kelly the talk of the town is the transformation she undergoes during the holiday season. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has her story.
I've always liked Christmas, but this is just such a way for me to give back because I've been so blessed my whole life, and I just think this is a great way to give back to others.
White gloves and a red coat is the outfit donned by Mrs. Kelly Redden as she embraces the persona of one of Christmas's most iconic characters.
When I was 16, I decided I wanted to be Mrs. Claus, but I knew I was going to have to wait a while. So when I turned 60, I said, I think it's time. And why? Well, because so many kids are scared of Santa. You can't see most of his face, and he's kind of big and over the top, and no one is scared of Mrs. Claus. It's like your grandma.
Though the clothes may change, their persona stays the same.
I just have fun, and I'm a nice Nana Claus, but at the same time there's that little bit of ornery. So like I was doing some work with the Park and Recs, and so we have the mailboxes where you live, and so I'm like taking the key and going, like I'm sneaking into the mailbox kind of thing. So there's a little bit of orneriness.
And what better place to see the joy that Mrs. Claus brings than in a classroom, reading a book just like Grandma would.
The night before Christmas. Oh, good. And all through the house.
And making each child feel very special.
They've said, oh, it must be fun. And I said, it's such a joy-filled experience. I could do it all year, except that wouldn't be appropriate all year. but I have so much fun, and the kids are so much fun.
Santa isn't the only one that brings kids toys, and arguably Mrs. Claus is a little bit better to have your picture taken with.
And she asked me, what is your favorite Christmas song? And I told her it was Silent Night, and she said hers was Noel, and she wanted to know if I would listen to her sing, and I said, absolutely, will you sing for me? And then, so she sang, and then I sang with her, and then we just had a wonderful time, and her mom was just almost in tears, because I guess no one ever said to her, yes, will you sing sing for me, and just listen to her, really listened.
So while Santa may get a lot of attention, it's Mrs. Claus who is the talk of the town.
And for more information about Kelly, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And while you're there, you can submit someone you think is fit for our Talk of the Town series. Just go to the community tab and fill out the form under the Talk of the Tab.
I'm sorry?
Talk of the Town tab. It's the Talk of the Town tab.
The Talk of the Tab is it's time to pay up.
Tab.
The tab is closed. It's time to pay up. No, it's. I hope you all are having a fantastic Christmas morning. We've been having a great morning here. We are live. Yes. This isn't pre-recorded, and it's happening as you speak. So we're here to spend our Christmas morning with you and help you get it off to a good start. The best way to get it off to a great start is to stay inside. Because it is cloudy, it's cold, it's breezy, it's drizzly, it's just, outside. But, it does feel a little more like Christmas. I remember last week before I took some time off, the last that I saw that we had seen for the long range for Christmas days, it was going to be in the 60s. So we're not looking at that. It will feel like Christmas, but... oh, the price we pay, though. Take a look at the breeze blowing. This is our camera on the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. We've got the clouds out there. We've got drizzle. Of course, drizzle doesn't show up on radar, but it is out there. And the RDOT camera, I-49 at 8th Street in Bentonville. The MoDOT cameras are down this morning. They are taking a Christmas holiday themselves, so that's why we're showing you this. But, Bentonville, it's not like it's that far away. The weather's not drastically different, as you can see. Cloudy, drizzly, wet roadways. Skywatch Storm Tracker, there's that wintry mix. It's light, but it's enough that it's showing up on radar out there, but it's not going to add up to much of anything. However, as this system continues to rotate through, light flurries, light drizzle will continue to be with us as we go through the rest of today. And that drizzle is still reducing visibilities out there for some of us. Mount Vernon, Cassville, Bentonville, Anderson, Fort Scott, Iola, all reduced visibilities, not due to the fog, but due to drizzle, so just make sure you're prepared for that. Sitting at 38 in Joplin right now, 37 in Pittsburgh, hence why we could see the periodic wintry mix through the day. Temperatures hovering in the mid-30s out there, and west winds are going to start gusting upwards of 25. We're going to talk more about your full forecast and when we're going to clear out here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. And a Joplin police officer is confirmed to be involved in a shooting of a 55-year-old male. Joplin police were responding to a suicidal male subject earlier yesterday evening in the Royal Heights neighborhood near St. Louis and Vandalia. The man was rushed to an area hospital trauma response and was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. Captain William Davis confirmed to KOAM that an officer was involved in the shooting and an investigation is ongoing. And a Seneca, Missouri man is dead following a motorcycle crash in Ottawa County, Oklahoma, Saturday night. Authorities say the single motorcycle crash occurred about 5 p.m. Saturday near 5 Mile Camp. 39-year-old Nicholas Patton was transported to Mercy Joplin, where he later passed away. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. And Christmas is here, and local organizations are preparing Christmas dinners for area communities. KNEO 91.7 FM in Neosho, Missouri will hold its annual Christmas dinner at the Neosho Municipal Auditorium at 11 a.m. on Christmas Day. In Kansas, the Wesley House in Pittsburgh is partnering with the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas to also hold a Christmas dinner at noon at the Wesley House. For more information about community Christmas dinners, check out our website at KOAM News Now. Up next, we have Lori Horton in the studio, and she is teaching us how to make traditional gingerbread cake bars. And later, Simply Time Homestead in Carl Junction hosts a Christmas pop-up shop for last-minute shopping. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 7:10 on this Christmas morning. Hope you all are having a great Christmas day. Hope it's off to a fantastic start for you. I know, like us, some of you do have to work, but hopefully it's a great day for you. Now we're taking a live look from our camera on the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. We've got clouds, we've had drizzle, we've got the gusty winds out there, so it is a bit on the chilly side. RDOT camera, I-49 and 8th Street in Bentonville, showing the clouds. The drizzle's let up a bit, but still seeing some of that out there. And the KDOT camera, 69 East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh, also still showing wet roadways, but the drizzle not piling up on the camera as much, so it may have let up a bit. Again, when it comes to radar, flurries, drizzle, really light precipitation like that very rarely shows up on radar unless it's just really coming down. And as you can see, Not much showing up out there, but we've had that drizzle all across the region. Some light rain, even a light wintry mix still in parts of southeastern Kansas, and we can see where some of that light snow and that pink indicating that, or purple color really, indicating that light wintry mix out there. Now that's not going to add up to anything, but thankfully that rain has added up across the area, which is good news because we have needed it. Now as this system rotates through, again, we could still see some drizzle and see some flurries, but in terms of the white stuff, as you can see on the snow tracker heading all the way into tomorrow afternoon, doesn't really add up to much of anything out there. Cloudy from our camera 7th and range line. I ran the wiper, and as you can see, the drizzle not covering it again, so it is letting up a bit for now. 38 in Joplin, feels like 30, west breeze at 14. Temperatures around the area, the warmer temperatures pushing off to the east as we get behind the system. 34 in Iola, 35 Neodesha, Yates Center, 36 Chanute, Sedan, Independence, Parsons, Chitopa, 30 in Miami, 38 in Carthage. You factor in the wind, feels like 25 in Iola, 24 Yates Center, 30 in Parsons, 20 in Miami, 30 in Carthage and Greenfield. So it does feel a bit chilly. Now even the future track has difficulty picking up on drizzle and flurries and things. So as we head into the afternoon, the future track shows the clouds. That part's easy. But when it comes to that really light, finite precipitation, does have a hard time picking up on it. But some drizzle, some flurries possible as we head through the afternoon into the evening hours. You can see it tries to pick up on some light showers here and there, but we're going to go mostly cloudy overnight. Few light showers, some light flurries, light drizzle out there. See, with our temperatures falling, that's why we could see the light flurries across the area. And then we could potentially see that continue into our Tuesday. Drizzle and flurries to get the morning started. Temperatures just kind of hovering in the upper 30s. Cloudy, breezy. Those west winds will start gusting upwards of 25. We're going to maintain cloudy, breezy, cool conditions. A lot of us hitting these highs fairly early. We're just going to hover right around the mid-30s, and then by the evening hours, better chances for some light flurries across the area. Still breezy, and with light flurries, if the wind's blowing hard enough, you may not even see them. Temperatures tonight back down to about 30 degrees across the area. We go into our Tuesday, a light wintry mix still possible across the area, but again, most of us will be in that drizzle light rain phase. A little warmer, low 40s, cooler on Wednesday, but we dry out for a moment. And then late Wednesday into early Thursday, could see another light wintry mix, but again, not expecting much to add up out there, if anything at all. We'll return into the 40s, so relatively average temperatures out there, and we'll start to see some sunshine as we head into the weekend. That's a quick check of your forecast. We've got Lori Horton right after this.
All right, Lori Horton is back in the studio to tell us the next steps in making the traditional gingerbread cake bars.
Yes, so we started out this morning with our butter and brown sugar mixture.
That's
we
right.
added in that secret sauce of the molasses. And this is a very underused ingredient, but boy, when it comes to gingerbread, there's no substitution.
And it smells so good. I mean,
so good.
Can't beat it.
And that batter for it, what it ends up being after we add those wet and dry ingredients together is pretty dense. So it's almost like a cookie
Very
dough.
thick, right?
Very thick, a little bit sticky, but we can actually pick it up and kind of handle that. So it makes it easy when we go to put it in that pan. Because we can actually just take our hands and, you know,
Kind of mold it around?
Mold it around in there. And it's a fairly thin cake. So you'll see that my pan is very shallow. This is where you can get out that jelly roll pan or even a cookie sheet.
Yes.
And this is a big one. So this is actually a double batch of our recipe that we have posted. You'll
All
want to
right,
go
that's
more
good
for
to
like a
know.
9x13.
If you're not
or
exhausted from
a
opening
single batch,
presents
right?
all morning,
Oh,
why not
it's
whip
tough.
up some cookies as if you haven't done enough, right?
You know, there's never anything else going on Christmas to do. But we can't leave it at just this. It's delicious as it is. It's just our gingerbread cake. We baked it at 350 for about 20 to 25 minutes.
Okay.
My big one last night baked for about exactly 20. So
Wow,
in
all right.
this weather with the rain and everything, sometimes that does make a difference. Always err on that low side and check it. And it's like any other cake. You're going to test it with a toothpick or your cake tester. When it comes out clean, it's good to go. It'll
I
pull
love
away
that.
from the sides a little bit. It's a little harder to tell with a dark colored cake.
That's
batter.
true, actually.
So, what we got to put on top, we got to make some cream cheese frosting.
All right, let's hear it. What do you
So,
put in this?
We started with a complete block of cream cheese, 8 ounces, and
Okay.
a whole stick of butter. So it's health food. It's really good for you today.
New Year's resolutions don't start till next week.
That's right. We have a whole other week to be bad.
Get it in while you can.
Whole other week to be bad. And then we just added in there some powdered sugar. And then to kind of cream it up a little bit, a lot of your icing recipes will call for milk, but I like to use heavy whipping cream. And it makes it a little bit richer, a little bit creamier, and keeps it a little bit softer. So we're just going to kind of finish getting all of that incorporated, make sure all that powdered sugar is well mixed, and that icing is really fluffy and soft. You can add a little vanilla to this, or even a little dash of cinnamon to kind of blend it together with the spices.
Yeah, we already have the spiciness of the molasses and the gingerbread.
And it's gingerbread, so we do have ginger in there. We've also got cloves and nutmeg and cinnamon. All of the spices of Christmas.
Exactly.
It is. There's no doubt there. We are making all the spices of Christmas there. And then once that is really nice and fluffy, and it's, I say when it looks like frosting, but when it looks like frosting, right?
It looks like frosting.
Looks like fluffy icing. That's what you're going for. And we are going to come back and we're going to put a nice layer on our gingerbread cake. We're going to spread that out nice and even. We're going to take a slice and have a sample.
I can't wait. All right, well, stick around. We got more news coming up right after this. All right, Lori Horton is here, and she's going to show us the finishing steps of the traditional gingerbread cake bars.
Yes, we've got that cream cheese icing all nice and fluffy. Now we need to make a nice even layer of that on those gingerbread bars. And one step that I did not point out before we put that batter into the pan, it's really important that we spray that pan, because again, it's kind of a sticky dough.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's going to make it a whole lot easier to get that out. So be sure you either grease and flour or use a baking spray on that pan before you put that in there.
Yes.
So we're going to take a very generous helping.
Look at that, guys.
Of that cream cheese icing. And this is about 2/3 of what we made. So this will be,
lay it on thick,
Lay
Lori.
it on thick, and if you love it, load that whole batch on there.
Go for it,
The calories don't count.
They don't. They don't. Worry about that. Sounds like a 2024 problem.
Exactly. That's not my problem. And I like to use this angled spatula. It kind of keeps your fingers out of the mess, and it helps a lot when you are spreading that on a large surface like this. To just keep it moving around. And of course, this is completely cooled. I obviously baked this last night, not early this morning. I'm dedicated to you guys, but I'm not that dedicated.
Don't tell me your secrets.
I'm telling you. Spilling all the tea this morning. But we're going to go ahead and just layer that whole batch on there, because I like a good heavy coating.
It's beautiful. I mean, this is kind of turning into a cake at this point.
It kind of is. And we're going to cut it into bar slices, but of course, it is more like a cake. You're not going to be able to stack those up. They're not going to get firm on the top or anything like that as far as that icing.
Other kids are going to love this.
Oh my gosh.
As if they're not
crazy.
already.
Save it for after lunch.
Games,
exactly. Right? They're probably already so sugared up this morning that you can't even begin to control them.
Yes.
So save this for this evening, maybe a cup of hot chocolate with that.
Perfect.
The weather is perfect for it. And we just get that really nice even coating on there. And then,
it's beautiful.
It is, and it's nice and soft. Don't want to miss that corner.
Look at that.
Nobody misses out, right? Absolutely.
Any parties going to tonight?
Exactly.
Stopping by your neighbor's house, your friend. This is an easy dish.
And this is a good one for New Year's, because the gingerbread doesn't necessarily stop at Christmas. People love it this time of year. So if you've got something to go to, and again, this was a double batch in the bigger pan.
Yes, I can see that.
I just want to show you how nice and soft it is. This is just a butter knife. And
look at that.
Slice right through there. So you would not be able to do that with a gingerbread cookie.
No, look at that. I mean, look at that.
So helpful. And we're just going to
slice it and dice it.
Tear right through.
That's lovely.
It is. It's just really, really nice and soft. And while I'm doing that, if I can hijack for just a second.
Yes.
And I can give a shout out. My mom's birthday is on Saturday.
Happy birthday, Mom.
So she gets to suffer through the winter birthdays, as some of us do.
Right? My birthday's on Friday, so I get it.
My birthday is next Monday, so we get all of the
Christmas/birthday presents.
I hate them. In the Christmas wrapping paper. Parents don't do it. Nobody likes it.
Well, shout out to Mom. Merry Christmas and happy birthday.
So when we get all done, I just want to show you guys the side of that. It's a really nice.
Oh, and it's super moist too.
Super moist, super soft.
Lori, as always.
It's delicious. I highly encourage you to try it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas. And we'll be right back with more news after this.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
Merry Christmas, 4 States, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 7:28 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. RK Shows Incorporated held a gun show at the Joplin VFW. The show featured various types of guns, including AR-15s, pistols, and hunting weapons. Attendees were able to also practice shooting their guns with a simulated target practice course.
4 rules of handling firearms. Don't point them at something. They're always loaded until you check and see that they're not, and they're even loaded after you check that to ensure they're safe, and just general stuff like that.
Saturday's gun show wrapped at 6 p.m. Missouri Highway Patrol has welcomed 25 new troopers, 3 of whom are from the 4-state area. The new troopers graduated from Missouri State Highway Patrol's Law Enforcement Academy Friday. Troopers Ryan C. Byers of Joplin, Corey W. Klotz of Nevada, and Mason K. Wilson of Seneca were among the troopers who were sworn in. The new troopers will report to duty in their assigned troops on January 8th, 2024.
And we've got ourselves a cloudy, dreary, drizzly, and even flurry-ish kind of day out there for Christmas. We've got the cloudy skies. Skywatch Storm Tracker is showing, again, it's picking up on some light rain, even some light snow, light wintry mix out there. It's not going to add up to anything, but it is showing up. It's the drizzle and flurries that just do not show up on radar very well at all. Now, the bulk of the detectable activity rolling off to the northeast, but through today, some light drizzle, a few flurries will be possible. Our camera 7th and range line showing the clouds. The drizzle seems to have let up because, as I mentioned before, we ran the wiper on this many times and it would cover right back up, but that's not the case right now. And some of that drizzle is heavy enough that it's reducing visibilities out there. Iola, Fort Scott, Miami, Grove, Anderson, and Bentonville, all with reduced visibilities out there. So not super dense, but it's enough that it is causing some reduced visibilities. You can see that from the RDOT camera, I-49 and 8th Street down in Bentonville right now. As we go through the rest of the day, cloudy, light drizzle, light flurries possible, temperatures hovering in the mid to upper 30s. We're going to talk more about your full forecast and when we're going to clear out here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Santa and Mrs. Claus stopped in Carthage Saturday ahead of the big night to take photos at Grace Lanes. The bowling alley hosted its 2nd annual Bowler Express for the community. It included cookies, hot cocoa, and of course, bowling. The event began at noon and wrapped up at 3 p.m.
Right now, on the first session from noon to 1:30, we're full. We have all 14 lanes reserved for families, so we'll be pretty full here for the first hour and a half, and then after that, there's some open slots, but they may fill up as we get closer to the second session.
Grace Lanes is located at 219 East 3rd Street in Carthage, Missouri. And Simple Time Homestead in Carl Junction Saturday hosted a Christmas pop-up shop. The event gave shoppers a chance to finish up Christmas shopping while also browsing some holiday treats, including cookies and cinnamon rolls.
So we've got the cinnamon rolls, the homemade cinnamon rolls, the jars and stuff to give as gifts, and then we've also got with Mary's Berries the chocolate dipped strawberries and the chocolate dipped pretzels and other goodies and stuff like that. So things for you to be able to take home and enjoy on Christmas morning or give them as gifts.
The shop was open from 10 Saturday morning until 2 in the afternoon. And some 4-staters spent their day last-minute Christmas gift shopping. The Antique-ish Mall and Beyond Me Boutique in Joplin yesterday hosted the event. Shoppers were invited to show up yesterday morning in their favorite Christmas pajamas.
We've got everything. We have tons of candy and taffy and soda for all the kids of all ages, and they're great stocking stuffers. We have a couple boutiques for the women. We have collectibles, glassware, furniture, anything antique, primitive, vintage, and in between. We had to do something fun because it was the last day, and some of my staff really wanted to wear their Christmas pajamas, so we just went with it for today.
The event also had a showing of how the Grinch stole Christmas for shoppers to enjoy. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Mickey is a free mouse starting in beginning of 2024. We'll have the details.
And we're continuing to watch this drizzly Christmas forecast out there. We'll have another look at that when the KOAM Morning News returns. Well, it's Christmas Day, and around the globe, the faithful gathered to mark one of the holiest holidays of the year. Though in some cities, things were a little more quiet this season. CBS's Kristen Benavides shows us why.
In Bethlehem, the biblical birthplace of Jesus, a midnight mass, even as most other festivities and celebrations were called off due to the ongoing Israel-Hamas war.
Nowadays, Bethlehem, as any other Palestinian city, in mourning. We feel sad.
The same is true in Jerusalem, where the typically bustling city streets look like a ghost town.
It's the special day, and so it's like we especially need that spirit of Christmas today.
At the Vatican, where Pope Francis led the faithful in prayer, people gathered at St. Peter's Square.
No more war, maybe, hopefully. Maybe more calmness, more togetherness.
In Athens, residents and tourists wrote their Christmas wishes on paper lanterns and released them into the sky. Closer to home, American faithfuls also gathered from New York's St. Patrick's Cathedral to the National Cathedral in Washington. NORAD, meantime, stayed busy tracking Santa as he made his way around the globe. There were plenty of Santas to keep track of in Florida's Cocoa Beach.
It's high fives, it's hugs, it's pictures, it's all the good vibes of Christmas.
Showing that there's more than one way to feel the spirit of the season. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Well, if you were hoping for a white Christmas, like some of us here in the 4 states, you may be out of luck. Most of the U.S. is going to spend the holiday season without snow, though there's a notable exception for those in the Rockies and Northern Plains. They've experienced blizzard warnings in the Dakotas and into Nebraska. So I guess if that's what it takes to get snow, I think we'll settle on what we're getting right now. The last thing we need down here is a blizzard. Well, coming up, when it comes to the economy, more Americans have been closer to the Grinch in 2023 than Santa, but that could change. And as mentioned, no white Christmas in our forecast, but at least it's going to feel like Christmas. We'll have another look at that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is Christmas morning. I hope all of you are off to a fantastic start to your Christmas day. Like I said earlier, I'm sure the kids have already had you awake for the last several hours, but perhaps if they're letting you sleep, then you're just waking up. Maybe they let you sleep. This is what you're waking up to. This is our camera on the Cornell Complex. Hopefully you're not waking up to this camera, because if it's where you are, then that means you're on the roof of the Cornell Complex, and that is not a good place to be this morning, because it is chilly and it is cold and it is breezy and it is drizzly and it is cloudy, but the temperatures feel like Christmas. RDOT camera, I-49 and 8th Street in Bentonville, showing the clouds, showing some of that haze from some of the light drizzle, but it has let up, and at least for now, which we can also see from the KDOT camera on 69 East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh. Drizzle flurries don't really show up on radar, but we do know that the activity's kind of let up for now. Still got some light rain and a light wintry mix in the parts of southeastern Kansas, which we can see the purple there is that wintry mix. And then the blues, that's actually some light snow. I had to switch the radar to winter mode this morning because I knew what we were expecting. And we could still see some light flurries and light drizzle on the backside of this system. However, it's not really going to add up to much. And here's the snow tracker, just so you guys know I'm not crazy. I know some of you are maybe seeing some of that light snow going, what do you mean? Well, as you can see, it's not going to do much for us, but at least it will look pretty. And the rain has added up for us, which is important. 38. Oh, wow, I've never seen that update live on the air. That was cool. 37 in Joplin now. Feels like 28. West breeze at 14 miles an hour. Temperatures around the region. Now watch this update. 33 in Iola, 36 Fort Scott, 37 Pittsburgh, Nevada, Lamar, 36s Chanute, Parsons, Chatopa, Independence, Sedan, 29 in Miami, 36 also Neosho and Monette. And with that breeze, feels like 22 in Iola, 18 Miami, 16 in Grove, 29 in Lamar, 30 in Pittsburgh. So it already feels cold, and that west wind will continue to increase and start gusting upwards of about 25 miles an hour. Now, just like on the radar, Future Track can't pinpoint drizzle and flurries. So as we head to the afternoon, it just shows the clouds, but light drizzle, light flurries will be possible as we head through the afternoon and evening. We'll go mostly cloudy overnight. It is trying to pick up on a few light showers across the area, but it's not really showing much much otherwise. We're going to have the light drizzle, flurries through the morning, temperatures holding into the mid-30s out there. Our highs really already happened. As you saw in that update on the currents, they rolled back a degree. Breezy, light wintry mix, light flurries as we head into the evening, lows dropping back to around 30 degrees out there, and it will remain windy overnight, but the winds will shift out of the southwest. Maybe a light wintry mix tomorrow, still breezy, a bit warmer though, low 40s. Cooler on Wednesday, drying out briefly, maybe a light wintry mix early Thursday. We return to somewhat average temperatures heading into the weekend, and the sunshine will return as well. That is a quick check of your forecast. Now, here's Caitlin with your Holiday Consumer Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Well, the presents have been opened. Now what do you do with all the wrapping paper and boxes that they came in? Before you head to the dumpsters, CBS's Donna Backus has recycling tips.
The Burbank Recycle Center sees about 155 tons of material every day. That number increases 25% during the holidays as people send in the leftovers from all those presents.
This is our pre-sort line.
Amy Hammis is a recycling specialist. She says cardboard boxes and paper products that are not lined should be recycled, but you must remove the packing materials.
The tendency can be to keep all that packaging in there, and a lot of the stuff like the foam, the air pillows, things like that are not recyclable in your cart, and so you're just bringing contaminants to us.
Bows and ribbons are not recyclable and should be reused if possible. Wrapping paper is recyclable, but not all of it.
Once you start getting into all the fancy stuff, the gloss, the metallic, the glitter, all of that just degrades the value of the paper, and so it's not recyclable.
And those old, unwanted electronics are in a special category.
Anything that has a cord, like lighted trees or ornaments, needs to go to a recycle collection center and not placed inside your at-home recycle bin.
It's just going to tangle our equipment, and we're going to have to take it to a collection center for e-waste.
Many local governments have special points for e-waste, including products with rechargeable lithium batteries. And several retailers like Best Buy and Staples will recycle old electronics.
That has to be handled and dealt with responsibly.
Hammis says if you have any doubt, ask your recycling center what they accept to make sure your good intentions don't go to waste. Danya Backus, CBS News, Burbank, California.
Another tip, keep items loose. Most recyclers do not want recycling items in plastic bags that they have to break open and dispose of the bag. Also, breaking down cardboard boxes and removing the tape makes them easier to recycle. And sitting around the Christmas table today, you may be talking about money. A Bankrate survey found more than half of Americans sought financial advice this year, and most look no further than their family and friends. Younger Americans were more likely to ask those that they know and use social media, while baby boomers were more likely to consult financial advisors. And when it comes to the economy, more Americans have been closer to the Grinch in 2023 than Santa, but that could change. Consumer confidence rose to a 5-month high in December, and the Conference Board also found more people are feeling optimistic about 2024. This comes amid a projected record holiday spending season from the National Retail Federation to the tune of as much as $966 billion. And Mickey is a free mouse starting in the beginning of 2024. On January 1st, the 1928 Disney short Steamboat Willie copyright expires and the film enters the public domain. But it's not all Mickey all the time, just the mischievous whistling boat captain version of the beloved character. And that's it for Consumer Watch. We'll be right back. Well, Santa Claus comes down the chimney. Everyone knows that. But if you don't have a chimney, how does he get in?
Breaking and entering. Just kidding. Well, Jolly...
Good one.
Yeah, well, he's got to get into your house some way. Well, jolly old St. Nick always finds a way, of course, but a business owner in Rhode Island... Please tell me this isn't going where I'm thinking. In Rhode Island is giving him some help. Sam Reed explains how.
In 2013, Jonathan Issa started his own small business, John's Locks, Inc.
So after the military, I wanted to get into something where I could help people.
At his West Shore Road shop in Warwick, he works with keys of all kinds.
Houses, cars, boats. If it requires a key, we pretty much make them.
And he does so alongside of his son, Zachary.
I run the shop here, so I have customers come in here for duplicate car keys, house keys. I fix ignitions, car door locks.
But amongst the many shapes and sizes, colors and kinds being made, For the last 3 years, they've been adding a new key to the collection. And this holiday tradition started many years ago when John was a kid himself.
I had asked my mother, because we lived in an apartment, how is Santa going to get in our house? The chimney doesn't come into our house. And she had given me this antique skeleton key, and she had said, we're going to leave this outside, and Santa will be able to get into our house with it, with his magic.
Hoping to unlock the same sense of spirit. In the peak of the pandemic, John's gears began grinding.
Being in the key business, we decided we were going to reach out to Santa and make some magic Santa keys for the children.
He says the big man was on board with anything that would make his special delivery go smoother, especially for those without somewhere to slide down.
He really appreciates the magic keys because it makes his day go a lot faster.
John and Zach both spend hours of their time carefully crafting the key setup.
Thank you very much. No problem. Merry Christmas. Yep.
And all this week, like years past, they give out hundreds of them for free to anyone who wants one.
Let me guess. There you go. No problem.
When these kids come in and I get to see their smile, come up and their eyes light up, and it's a good feeling to be making kids happy around this time of year.
The amazement in their face is really, really heartwarming.
Equipped with a poem of positivity.
This key is very special, you see. It won't work for you or me.
Everything explains the steps needed to make the magic happen.
Hang it outside the door, go to bed, and worry no more.
John says while he serves the community now, years ago, he served our country.
Serving in the military in a combat zone is just a very miserable time. And when you come home, a lot of those things don't go away.
And this entire effort is another gift for him to give. And that feeling is priceless.
To see the smile on these children's faces, it warms my heart, and it makes everything feel better for that moment.
Well, Santa always finds a way.
Yes, he does, and that's absolutely
Always.
incredible. Of course, breaking and entering is not how he gets in. He has that magic key.
He does.
To get into
Only
your
Santa
home if
can-
you don't have a chimney. Let's take a quick look outside. The drizzle has resumed. Do you know how we know? Well, we can see those drops on our camera at 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. Our camera on top of the Cornell Complex also showing clouds. Still got the wet roadways, still got those gusty west winds, and they'll pick up even more. And the RDOT camera, I-49 8th Street in Bentonville, cloudy skies. No drizzle resuming down south yet, but believe me, it's going to be on the way. Drizzle flurries don't show up very well on radar, but we do have some light rain, even some light wintry precipitation, and as the temperatures fluctuate, that's going to cause that to bounce around. Light snow possible, light flurries and maybe light drizzle also possible across the area, and that drizzle reducing visibilities for some of us as well. We'll have another look at your forecast and the news you need to know on this Christmas morning right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A Joplin police officer is confirmed to be involved in a shooting of a 55-year-old male. Joplin police were responding to a suicidal male subject earlier yesterday evening in the Royal Heights neighborhood near Lewis and Vandalia. The man was rushed to an area hospital trauma response and was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. Captain William Davis confirmed to KOAM that an officer was involved in the shooting and an investigation is ongoing. A Seneca, Missouri man is dead following a motorcycle crash in Ottawa County, Oklahoma Saturday night. Authorities say the single motor crash occurred about 5 p.m. Saturday near 5 Mile Camp. 39-year-old Nicholas Patton was transported to Mercy Joplin, where he later passed away. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. And Christmas is here, and local organizations are preparing Christmas dinners for area communities. KNEO 91.7 FM in Neosho, Missouri will hold its annual Christmas dinner at the Neosho Municipal Auditorium at 11 a.m. on Christmas Day. In Kansas, the Wesley House in Pittsburgh is partnering with the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas to also hold a Christmas dinner at noon at the Wesley House. For more information about community Christmas dinners, check out our website, koamnewsnow.com.
Now we've got ourselves a cloudy, breezy, and dreary day out there. Our highs, we've already hit them. Temperatures will drop slowly through the day. Gusty west winds pushing about 25 miles an hour. Could see some light flurries, light drizzle, or a light wintry mix as we head through the evening and overnight hours. Doesn't add up to much of anything, unfortunately, but it will be there for some of us. We fall back to 30 tonight. Light wintry mix tomorrow, possible breezy, a little warmer, cooler on Wednesday. Early wintry mix on Thursday, and then we will get back to normal into the 40s heading into the weekend with more sunshine. It's Christmas.
It is Christmas.
And I hope you all at home have had a fantastic Christmas morning, and we really appreciate those of you who have tuned in. Maybe you've just got us on in the background as you open presents, or maybe you're genuinely sitting there going, what are these people doing on their Christmas holiday? We thank you so much for joining us today and letting us put the good in your morning. We will not be back with more news and weather today at noon as the Chiefs play, which is more exciting than the news at noon anyway. Right?
Absolutely.
At least today it is. So.
Absolutely. Have a very Merry Christmas, 4 States.